What's going on, Masterclass family? This is your boy, Mr. Adams, bringing you the Black Friday trade of the day, and this will be the last review of 2017. Now, I know I just recently started doing the videos. However, these reviews are solely meant for us to go back and take a look at charts that had ideal setups, preferably ones that were at least a 5 to 1, because we know if we can hit six 5 to 1 trades in a row, that's a way to go from $100 to $1 million within six trades. And it's all about finding the right ideal setup that meets our criteria or our parameters. So let's evaluate our trade of the day. Pepsi. Now, I did not put out Pepsi on the watch list because there was nothing that I had seen or was able to see aftermarket or pre-market to make it worthwhile. However, several days ago, I got an alert that there was a lot of call buying activity on Pepsi. And what I noticed on Pepsi is that it was at all-time highs on all time frames, meaning that on the daily chart, weekly chart, and the monthly chart, the stock was sitting at all-time highs around the 119 area. So I purposefully set an alert above the all-time highs in case there was a breakout, because I knew that whenever that day occurred, we could have a fairly decent move. And so earlier this morning, around 9:35, my Pepsi alert went off, and we jumped straight on it. So let's evaluate the trade. Yesterday, as we can see here, this is yesterday's activity. We have previous days consolidation. That's one of the things that we look for. And that previous day's consolidation formed a gold setup from 1 o'clock all the way into the market close of 4 p.m. 4 hours of gold consolidation. This morning, the stock gapped open right above the previous day's high. That's a strong signal because there was a gap above the highest price that Pepsi had ever been. That caught my attention. Along with that, we had dual money flow. Now, the money flow was not as strong as Netflix money flow the day before, but it's dual, and it looks good. So it was certainly worth consideration, and you had some value that was greater than the average volume line that we can see here on the bottom, which was also significant. Granted, it wasn't a lot of value like we saw with Netflix once again the day before. However, it was more than average. First 5 minute candle closed above the previous day's high. The second candle closed above previous day's high as well. We have somewhat of an engaged setup here, and preferably I like a married, meaning when the pivot point, the red line here, and the gray previous day's high line are tight together, they're joined together, that's married. This is somewhat engaged. It's not necessarily ideal because I prefer married. However, because I know that this stock was at all-time highs, it was worth the risk considering that it finally broke above the 1950 area. And so the entry here was either the second candlestick or the break above the pivot point. Let's take a look. Before we go there, and then it went straight up from, let's see, 1960 all the way to 120.57, giving you just about a dollar move. And with the right strike price, a dollar move could easily give you a 5 to 1 or more. Let's evaluate it on the different time frames. On the 30-minute chart, we can see that Pepsi had a gold setup for days, a lot of consolidation taking place. It's above the Ichimoku cloud, and it finally got its breakout. As you can see here, for days, it couldn't break this 119.50 area, and it finally broke that today, and it was gone for a dollar move. Same thing on a 1 hour chart. We have a TTM squeeze here on a silver setup, which is above the cloud on a 1 hour chart, letting you know that any given day, this stock could break higher. On the weekly chart, it's in a strong uptrend. Money flow is positive on a weekly chart, and it's been going higher for the last 5 to 6 weeks. That's another strong signal. If we take a look at the daily chart, you have strong money flow here, and the stock has been holding the 10-day moving average for months now. with strong money flow. So on all time frames, you had no resistance on a 5 minute, on a 30 minute, on a 1 hour, on the daily, nor the weekly, meaning that this put the odds in your favor of having a successful trade once Pepsi had broken above all time highs. Now let's take a look at the options chain. I told you that earlier in the week we received an alert that there was a lot of call buying taking place in Pepsi. And if we take a look at the calls, there were 11,000 calls purchased in comparison to only 2,900 puts, showing you that big money is interested in Pepsi for whatever reason. If we take a look at the opportunity, the 120 calls opened up at 5 cents and they hit a high of 61 cents. That's a 10 to 1 trade. I think I got in around 20 cents and I got somewhat of a 4 to 1 out of it. I think John caught Pepsi as well. He did a little bit better than I did, but it was a good trade. It was the best trade of the day so far. The market overall was a bit lethargic. So Pepsi was our Black Friday trade of the day on the last trading day of the 2017 year. We look forward to a successful and prosperous 2018. Let's get it. Masterclass. Dominate.